You know what, y'all really, I appreciate all the feedback that y'all gave me because I was really feeling like, man, like should I have even said that, right? Like, should I have even really, like, should I have even let that come out of my mouth? At times, like at times, I was going back and forth. I was like, wait a minute, was I a little too hard on the man? Was I a little too hard on the man? Do I need to resend something? But then I thought about it. I'm like, wait a minute. Look at a couple more comments. I was like, you know what? I'm exactly right. What is going on, good people? Flock Nation Speaks. I feel like I'm finally back, okay? I feel like I'm finally back. Flock Nation Speaks, episode 12. Not fully, though, right? Episode 12 for Jacoby Jones this time, right? I feel like I'm fully back finally. I don't have a question of the day today. I feel like actually next week I'll be fully back. But like I got a background now. It's not all just white wall and you looking at me like this because I'm shooting from my computer. You know how that goes. But Fly Nation Speaks, we are back once again, the Ravens podcast for the best of Ravens fans. Man, I'm telling, what a week. What a week it's been. I didn't put out a video last week. Right. I didn't put out a video last week because of the craziness of moving from one apartment to another. And because of that, I ended up putting out a short that that ruffles some feathers, I feel like, in the ASC, which is fun. It's always fun. You always get these comparisons. You always get these, kind of back and forth. It was fun. It was, it was a lot of guys who not only like enlightened me a little bit, but at the same time, I was like, okay, they really had me thinking like maybe I was wrong. I don't know. But anyway, DJ from BO Productions, Fly Nation Speaks, episode 12, of course, Baltimore Ravens podcast. If you've never been here before, be sure to subscribe. It's always a lot of fun. We always have a lot of fun. Especially, it's been a lot of reaction, a lot of comments, which is always fun, right? I'm it's funny. I'm gonna start posting more shorts because I think it gets a different audience to view the podcast as opposed to my my the couple of normals I have so far, right? But it's I tell you, man, like just the Justin Herbert thing, which is hilarious, right? Like it's honestly hilarious because I feel like a lot of guys give Justin Herbert more credit than they give like Joe Burrow. I haven't put out my Joe Burrow short yet, but I feel like I'm not going to get as much criticism on my Joe Burrow short that I got on Justin Herbert. And we'll get into that here in a little bit. But first things first, Justin Houston is back with the Ravens, which I think is big considering the unfortunate circumstances with Sack Daddy and his passing. So, and I felt like Justin Houston was going to come back anyway, the wily old vet. Like I felt like he was coming back anyway, but for whatever reason, they weren't going with it. They weren't going to bring back Justin Houston. I don't know why. Like I'm still sitting here trying to figure out like why weren't they bringing back Justin Houston? Why weren't they like on that? At least to have a veteran presence in the locker room so you can be ready. Because they trying to reinvigorate this pass rush again, man. Because I think with Coach McDonald coming in now, like they trying to reinvigorate this pass rush. So because of that, like I feel like having Justin Houston just as a guy to be even on the sidelines mentoring a little bit, even in practice mentoring a little bit was going to be huge. But it took him a little bit, a little while, and I kind of was surprised he wasn't picked up by somebody else, just like I said, as a veteran guy. But I'm glad that the Ravens were able to pick back up Justin Houston, man. I'm so glad. I'm so excited that they were able to pick up Justin Houston because I think it was definitely one of those things, man, that I think he needed to be picked up. Like I think he needed to be picked up by somebody. Everybody needs veteran pass rushers. Sizzle stayed around, kind of way past his prime a little bit, but I think he helped some of those guys on who's the KC was the last team he was with. Like he helped some of those guys, so I'm excited, man, because I think he adds to this defense that's already good. That's already really good. already, going to be back to top 5 and in the league. I think this season, I think they're going to get their little turnover, that little streak they had, where they was turning everybody over every single game. They're going to get that back. I think this season, I think they're going to be a really good defense because, like I said before, if the Ravens ain't going to do nothing, if they ain't going to do nothing offensively, they're going to run the ball and they're going to be good on defense. This we done seen 20 plus years of this. We done seen 20 plus years of this. So, that's the things you can guarantee, right? They always talk about death taxes and Ravens defense being good. That's kind of where we at. But man, Justin Houston being back, I'm excited. I think he adds a big presence that I think the Ravens need, and I would like to see him play a little bit more. He's been good. He's been a guy who still, as he continues to get older, has still been able to do some good things. So, I'm definitely excited to see what Justin Houston is going to do. Justin Herbert on the mind. Let's jump into that real quick. For those of you who didn't see it, I'm gonna play the short. Basically, let me go back. Let me rewind all the way, right? I was talking about this list right here. Top 5 quarterbacks under 30 years old. And I didn't even know it's under 30. I thought it was under 25. The top quarterbacks under 30 years old, we're talking about we talking about the young guns, right? We're talking about the young guns, right? So in that video, right, I said some things that I don't necessarily even disagree with, but there was a lot of people that was like, are you sure? That was heinous. I'm gonna play it, ask you guys what you think, whether you're, Ravens fan, whatever fan, and then I'll give my rebuttal to my rebuttal. Yeah. Come on, the dude ain't even made the playoffs yet. Like, we really give Justin Herbert so much praise for being 6'6", 240. That's it. Really, that's where he gets his praise from. Because in terms of producing in the league, he's put up the numbers. But what else has he done? What else has Justin Herbert done? I need to know. That's the one out of all the guys, bro. Like, I would put Kyler on this list before I put Justin Herbert. Because what the heck has Justin Herbert done? And I'm cool with potential, right? And I get it. A top 5 under 25 is potential based, right? A top 5 under 25 is potential based, but you're not going to sit here and tell me that Justin Herbert is better than Lamar Jackson right now. Lamar blows him away when it comes to his record. And as always, Flock Nation speaks on all the platforms you can think of: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube as well, man. Like, let's bring it back. Look. For me, like, I'm feeling like, what to say? What to say? Because a lot of people were on me about this, right? Like people were like, hey, just what you said about Justin Herbert was heinous. What has Justin Herbert done? Rookie of the year, which I actually forgot about. Rookie of the year, best numbers for first and second year quarterback and all that, and people really like harping on the wins thing, at the end of the video, which that's the whole point of shorts, right? Like, at the end of the video, I was like, hey, let's be honest, right? Lamar Jackson blows him out when it comes to wins, and people were like, oh, but wins is a team stat and all that, but like I said, and I feel like Ravens quarterbacks over the years have always gotten this kind of flack for if they win or if they don't. They've gotten this like unfair rap. I did a video a couple weeks ago talking about like, we should be used to this, right? Y'all remember that? I was talking about Joe, I was talking about Lamar, and I don't even know if I explained it properly in that video, but like, Ravens fans have went through the gauntlet when it comes to their quarterbacks, at worst performing in the playoffs, right? Or at worst, winning, providing winning seasons, at worst, being guys who have regular season stats. Like, my biggest argument in that whole thing was, excuse me, right? Comparatively to everybody else, right? What has Justin Herbert done in that regard, right? Like, we don't want wins to matter for quarterbacks until they matter for quarterbacks, because I put up a rebuttal. I'm like, hey, no, wins are not a quarterback stat per se, but quarterbacks are defined by wins. You're defined by if you win games or not. You're defined by if you're clutch or not, right? It don't matter who is on your team, right? At the end of the day, it don't matter how bad your defense is. It don't matter how bad your receivers are, because that's the thing. Like, and it's going back to that thing about should Lamar. Like, this is going back to should Lamar get paid? Right, Lamar ain't done. I mean, what has Lamar done to not deserve to get paid? Like, if we really want to think about it, right? He's been injured twice, both on pass plays, not serious injuries, just but concussion, which can be serious, can linger, and then the bone bruise, which is not something that's going to take you forever to recover from. It just took him the back half of the season, right? So my question becomes, so I can turn my own question back into another question, right? What has Lamar Jackson done to deserve to not get paid, right? Because I'm gonna be honest with you, put the shoe on the other foot, because a lot of people want to talk about, well, it's a team game and all this, but Lamar Jackson is already being questioned because of his playoff losses, which, once again, if playoff wins aren't a quarterback stat, then how can we question Lamar on his playoff losses? But he hasn't won in the playoffs, right? So he only got the one win in the play, right? Like, if we base it off that, then he's done the same thing as Kyler, right? Kyler hasn't led the league in touchdown passes. Kyler hasn't led the league in rushing, right? You look, when they're already talking about paying him, right? I already said Mahomes is right here, right? Like even look at the list, like Mahomes, yeah, of course Mahomes is right there, right? Mahomes has done everything that a second year quarterback can do, of course, in his sixth year now, right? Mahomes has done everything. Is he in year 7 already? I can't remember right off, but Mahomes has done everything a young quarterback can do. Right? Like you literally couldn't do much more than what Mahomes has done, right? So I get it. Mahomes is on a echelon by himself, but then I guess that's the thing. Like, I've been seeing Herbert rated so high on some of these lists, man, and I'm just like, if it was like to put like we said, to put the shoe on the other foot, if it was Lamar Jackson who hadn't made the playoffs, right? Even if you put up numbers, right? Lamar Jackson still puts up numbers, right? Like, we forget, like Lamar Jackson still puts up numbers. He may do it in total touchdowns instead of passing touchdowns, but he still puts up numbers, right? The Ravens are a top 5 offense because of Lamar Jackson, not because of Stephon Diggs on the outside, not because of Mike Williams on the outside, not because of Keenan Allen on the outside, not because of Jared Cook on the outside. That's just to name a few from the Chargers, right? Specifically, right? Since we were having that discussion. So, Lamar Jackson makes them go. Like, even the offensive line is not nearly as good as we are set to believe, because Lamar Jackson's ability to evade, Lamar Jackson's ability to escape, Lamar Jackson's ability to extend the play. But at the end of the day, like, once again, you put the shoe on the other foot. If Lamar Jackson hadn't made the playoffs his first 2 seasons, let's just say the first season he made it, but his second year he put up numbers, but he didn't make it. His third year he put up numbers, but he didn't make it. If Lamar Jackson's being questioned as, well, should he get paid or should he not, off of playoff wins now, imagine if he hadn't made the playoffs. That's my thing, right? That's my thing. That's my question to you all, is explain to me how we're going to credit a guy so much for what he's done in the regular season, which is fine. It's worthy of credit. But then I'm just saying, let's hold them to the same standard, right? Let's hold Lamar and let's hold Justin Herbert to the same standard. Both have top 5 offenses, right? Both have led top 5 offenses. Both have been pretty efficient in the league, right? So, considering the more with less argument, of course, Lamar gets the edge on that. But at the same time, I'm sitting here thinking, we like, if it was Lamar Jackson, it was different. And going back to we should be used to this situation, right? I said that, and I put it in the thumbnail, with Joe not being elite, with Lamar being a running back, right? We should be used to this slander, and that's why Ravens fans are so passionate about their quarterbacks, because when we finally got good, solid, elite quarterbacks, right? Nobody wanted to give them any credit. Joe might didn't do it in the regular season, considering he was in a run first offense with no true number one wide receivers on the roster. But anyway, on a defensively oriented team, right? But he did it in the postseason. And I mean, we talking about showed up in the postseason. Like, we ain't talking about just like, oh, he had a couple good runs. No. Like we forget, like Joe was literally like this close to back-to-back Super Bowls. Like the guy who wasn't elite and didn't deserve to get paid until he won a Super Bowl, supposedly, right? I'll probably do a whole video on that, right? At some point. Like, Joe is criminally underrated, like lock him up in cuffs, criminally underrated. Like, it's crazy. But then at the same time, you know, Lamar's put this team as a top 5 offense for the first time in 20 years, right? For the first time in 20 years, broke rushing records for a quarterback, led the league in touchdown passes, which the Ravens have never done, because they're a run first team that focuses on defense, whether it be in free agency, whether it be in whatever, right? So that's the thing, right? Like, I think with Lamar, you know, I think I probably should get used to it, but I'm not gonna stop sticking up for my guy at this point, because I think I should get used to it, because with Joe, I was the same way. Like I wish I had a podcast back when Joe was in his prime with the Ravens, because I would have been saying the same stuff. Like, why doesn't Joe deserve to be paid? He's the only consistent quarterback the Ravens have had in the past, back then, 15 years. So why doesn't he deserve it? Same thing with Lamar. What has Lamar done to not deserve to get paid? He hasn't won in the playoffs. Peyton Manning didn't win in the playoffs early in his career either, right? Justin Herbert hasn't made it to the playoffs. Kyler Murray lost in the playoffs, but they still want to pay him. Deshaun Watson hasn't won in the playoffs. He got paid pretty good, right? So that's it. That's it for me for this episode, Flock Nation Speaks, episode 12, Jacoby Jones episode, which is pretty ironic that I talk about Joe in the Jacoby Jones edition. But as always, real quick, you know, you can always watch us, listen to us, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube. You can watch us, Anchor as well. So be sure to, I always say us like I'm with other people. Like, I'm gonna get some other people, then I can say us and it makes sense. But anyway, as always, hope you guys enjoyed. You know, leave your thoughts in the comments. May try to do another one this week, just because I've been missing y'all. I've been missing y'all for real. Like, you know, I've been missing y'all. I'm gonna post some more, you know, shorts and everything. But as always, hope you guys enjoyed. We'll see you guys on the next one. Until next time.